Do you feel tired all the time and like your batteries are always depleted? Well, the good thing is that there are a couple of habits that you can do and that are also backed by science that will significantly boost your energy. That is why in this video I want to show you the 7 simple habits that you can do that helped me tremendously to boost my energy levels over the past years. And stick around until the end, because the last tip is by far the easiest, the most enjoyable, but in my opinion also the most important point that you have to follow. So let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is that you are what you eat, or rather you feel like what you eat. And what you want to do to maximize your energy levels during the day is to specifically eat for energy. So I think all of you know that junk food is bad for you and will make you feel tired and bad afterwards, whereas for example whole foods will make you more energized and feel better afterwards. But what is even more important when it comes to maximizing energy is to look at the macronutrients of your food, and especially avoid food that is high in carbohydrates and sugar, because food can be broken down into 3 macronutrients. Proteins are the building blocks of your body. They will make you really full and give you energy slowly over the day. Fats as well will also give you slowly energy over the day. And then you have your carbohydrates, which will really give you quick energy in the moment once you've eaten it. But this energy spike will actually really quickly drop off. So the best thing you can actually do in the morning, for example when you breakfast, is to opt for a really balanced meal consisting of lots of protein, some healthy fats, fiber, etc. And then only a moderate amount of carbohydrates. Not too many, not too little. And it's also even better to opt for whole grains. That means, like for example, bread with grains in it instead of white bread. And if you, for example, have been on holiday in a hotel and had breakfast in this hotel, there were probably 2 main types of breakfast that was served in this hotel. You got your traditional full English breakfast, which mostly consists of meat, fat, and for example some beans, which is actually a really good example for a meal that is high on protein and will give you constant energy throughout the day. And on the other side of the table, you most likely will see people who eat loads of pancakes with maple syrup, with orange juice, and maybe some cereals afterwards, which without exaggerating actually only consists of carbohydrates and lots of refined sugar. And this is a total recipe for disaster, because after the breakfast your energy will spike all the way through the roof, and 10 minutes later you will really feel awful afterwards. Tip number 2 is to drink coffee the right way. Coffee is great. It gives you energy, it helps you to focus and concentrate, it makes everyone happy. But that is only when you use it correctly. For many years I had all throughout the day severe brain fog, I was tired, I couldn't concentrate, I was really unenergized and it just didn't feel well. And all of that was because I drank coffee the wrong way. Many people who feel the same way share actually one thing, and that is that they drink too much coffee and that they drink it too late in the day. And what this does is that it will raise your tolerance for coffee and therefore will make you need even more coffee as a consequence of that. Plus, you don't actually give your body time to actually get rid of all that caffeine in your bloodstream, because you're pouring in 1 cup of coffee after another. And what most people don't know is that it actually takes the body quite a long while to get rid of caffeine in the blood. You don't get per se addicted to coffee and caffeine, but you slowly will build up a tolerance if you drink it regularly. That means if you drink 3 cups of coffee, for example, a day, then you will need the following days 3 cups of coffee to actually just feel normal again. And many people will then feel like, okay, I drank 3 cups of coffee, but I just feel normal. And what they will then do at noon is that they will pour in another cup of coffee. In the afternoon, there is another cup of coffee. Maybe they gotta do some work in the evening and they will pour in another cup of coffee just to get that hit of caffeine and energy again. And that is actually a really horrible idea, because this raises your tolerance and it won't allow your body to ever get rid of all that caffeine in your body, leading to you being constantly tired, and you're actually also destroying your quality of sleep. Because you have to know that caffeine has a so-called half-life time of 5 to 7 hours. That means if you, for example, drink a relatively strong cup of coffee with 100 milligram of caffeine in it, then after 5 to 7 hours, 50 milligram of caffeine will actually be still left in your blood. 5 to 7 hours after that in the evening, there will be 25 milligrams and so on. That means if you always keep pouring in another cup of coffee, then you basically will never get rid of caffeine in your blood. The best thing you can therefore do to restore your energy levels and to generally feel better is to stop drinking coffee and any other caffeinated beverages around noon to 2 p.m. Tip number 3. A better option than pouring in another cup of coffee when you feel really tired is to do something that will actually give you a greater spike in energy without the negative consequences of of too much caffeine. Taking ice cold showers is really a tremendous way of feeling energized again. Because how this works is, once you step into the shower, once you start the cold water and step into it, your body will absolutely be shocked by the cold water and try everything to heat up again. This will feel uncomfortable, your body will hate it initially, but what this does is that it activates the fight or flight mechanism in your body. It will make your body produce hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which was actually thought to be used in situations where you meet a lion in the savannah 10,000 years ago. But what this does is that it enables you with a really strong, quick spike of energy, which will help you to feel less tired when you need to get something done. And this effect will actually last for, depending on how cold the water was, how much shocked you have been, for something between 30 minutes and a couple of hours. So it's definitely a great thing to try out. By the way, for those of you who don't know me yet, hi, my name is Michael, and on this channel I make videos every week about feeling better and improving your life every single day. And if you liked the video so far and found it helpful, then I would really appreciate if you would consider subscribing or liking the video, as this helps so much with the algorithm and the channel in general. But anyways, enough of that, let's continue with the video. Tip number 4. A common problem for many people is that they will feel really tired in the day because their body actually goes into energy saving mode. Let me explain. When you sit down to work at your desk, for example, when you need to work on your computer or do some studying and sit down for like 30, 60 minutes, for 1 hour, 2 hours, up to 4 hours, then this will lead to your body actually lowering and somehow shutting down your metabolism. And you probably know this absolutely weird feeling when you, for example, sit for 4 hours straight and you feel somehow weird and tired and exhausted and achy, and when you get up you really want to sit down and relax again. It's just a weird feeling. And the best thing you can actually do to prevent this and to actually maximize your energy levels is to stay active during the day and don't let situations like that happen, but instead move, for example, every 30 to 60 minutes throughout the day. When you're sitting at your desk, for example, set a timer for 30 minutes, and every time that timer goes off, you get up your desk, get, for example, some coffee. If it's before 2 p.m., you grab something to drink, or you go to the bathroom, you walk around a bit. It would even be better to elevate your heart rate a bit for a short while, so you could do some push-ups, some burpees, and also even stretch afterwards. And then after like 3, 4, 5 minutes you did this, go back to your desk and set another timer for 30 minutes of work. This way you won't actually allow your body to lower your metabolism. You could also, for example, opt for taking the stairs instead of an elevator, or for example walking or cycling instead of driving a short distance. And all of these things will actually send signals to your body that, hey, I need that energy, don't go into energy savings mode, which will then provide you with more energy during the day. Tip number 5, and this does actually apply here as well, is to exercise regularly as well. But here it's more about the bigger picture of things. Your body, your muscles, and also your energy levels work like this. Use it or lose it. When you never exercise or move in your everyday life at all, then your body will reduce the amount of muscles you have, will reduce the stamina you have, and it will also reduce the energy you have during the day. Because our bodies really evolved to be energy efficient and not to waste any resources whatsoever. When your body gets the slightest hint that you, for example, don't use your biceps anymore, this muscle will be broken down. If you don't use your stamina, this will fade away really quickly. This is why the best thing to actually prevent this and raise your energy levels during the day is to exercise multiple times a week. And you might say, come on Michael, I don't have energy for that. And that is exactly the point. If you slightly push yourself to include a bit more exercise every week into your lifestyle, this will be initially, of course, exhausting and you will feel tired afterwards, but I promise you that after a couple of weeks of adapting, your body will actually get used to this new level of physical activity that you now have implemented and will therefore provide you with more energy that is required to do exactly that. Exactly as the saying goes, use it or lose it. You will actually use your muscles, you will use your stamina, etc., which is why your body will make you have more energy during the whole day for that reason. So tip number 6 is actually something I rarely see anyone talking about regarding energy levels on the internet. And that is to monitor your stress and your mood levels over the time. You might say, like, what does your mood and your stress level have to do with your energy? Well, many people feel like a constant level of elevated stress in their lives. They have so much on their plates that it just feels like it's too much at certain points and they can't manage it all. And Cal Newport, who is a productivity author and studied at the MIT, for example, says in his new book, Slow Productivity, that most people are always on the close edge of actually burning out and collapsing under the pressure of the stress they have. The danger here is that too much chronic stress, elevated chronic stress levels, heavily increase your risk of getting a burnout. And burnouts are marked by many things. For example, negativity and sadness, not enjoying your work anymore, feeling constantly stressed and empty, but most importantly, a real lack of energy. Everything about your day feels hard, exhausting, and just like you can't manage it. Just like you don't have the energy for it. And that is why actually preventing such a state of burnout is so crucial for your energy levels. One really good way of actually preventing this, if this sounds like you, is to actually track your mood. You can, for example, use and search in an app store like for mood trackers, where you can just at the end of every day choose a smiley to rate your day. You can over the time notice how your mood changes, whether there's stress in your life, whether there's no stress in your life. And if you notice that there is a certain level of stress, actually take certain steps to reduce that load on your shoulders. And if you find yourself in a situation where you already feel like it's too much for you, then maybe you can leave a comment down below and I will maybe make a video about that if this is helpful for you. And tip number 7, my favorite one, it is to perfect your sleep. Most people know that if they pull off an all-nighter, they will feel absolutely rubbish. They know if they only sleep for 3 or 4 hours, they will absolutely feel awful. But it goes even further than that. 1 in every 3 Americans has sleeping problems. What if I told you that your energy levels during the day can actually be heavily decreased if you only sleep, like for example 30 to 60 minutes less than you actually should sleep? Matthew Walker from the UC Berkeley, who's the author of the book Why We Sleep, and the sleep experts, actually recommends to sleep about 7 to 9 hours every day. And he says it's not only important how much you sleep, but also that you keep in mind how well you sleep. You gotta keep in mind the quality of your sleep. That means whether you're really rested afterwards or not. For example, when you're laying in bed for 8 hours, whether you actually sleep for the full hours or maybe less. And in a nutshell, the best basic sleep tips are, as we already said, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single day, sticking to a fixed sleeping schedule, which means that you go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, also on weekends, because this makes falling asleep and getting up and the quality of your sleep way better. And other things are, for example, that you gotta keep in mind that your bedroom should be quiet, it should be dark, it should be cool, which makes falling asleep way easier. Other things you can do, for example, are cutting down on caffeine after 2 p.m. and also avoiding alcohol and nicotine, as this will all really disrupt your sleep and make your sleep quality suffer a lot. But if you really want to perfect your sleep and make the most out of your time in bed, then you can watch this video I made called My Science-Based Sleep Routine, where I explain how you can actually use the tips of sleep experts and raise your sleeping quality to another level to generally feel better and feel more energized during the day. And if this sounds good, make sure to click here and watch the full video. And besides that, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next time.